Well, the auto sector was something which was in excellent demand, but then something happened along the way and then it got cooled off. And the main reasons for that have been the rising commodity prices, the semiconductor issues, and all those situations that caused a roadblock to the growth in the auto sector. But then what I find is that the auto sector is now hitting a sweet spot. And I thought, why don't I share with you some ideas on how to look at the auto sector and what are those trigger points which are helping a revival or a possible revival in the auto space. All right. So let's look at what are those factors which helped the arrest of the decline in the auto space. The first one has been the resurgence of healthy festive demands that have actually seen a sharp bump up in the automotive sales, especially the passenger vehicles compared to the commercial vehicles. So let's look at what are those possible reasons that could ensure a revival in the auto space. The first one is the healthy festive demand that has ensured that there is a good bump up in the entire sales of the automotive space. Now, when you compare the automotive space, you can take a look at this chart here. You can clearly see that quite a few of these companies have shown an improvement in their pre-COVID versus the post-COVID sales figures. And the last 2 quarters have actually been a very, very good quarter for these automotive companies. And if I were to take the names, M&M, Maruti and TVS Motor looks to be primed for some sharp move upward. And why am I saying that? I will get to it in a few moments from now. And the other reason has been that the semiconductor supplies, which were causing a roadblock and which were creating a lot of a long waiting list for many of the organizations, have now eased off, and that has also helped in improving the current situation. Further, the strongly aggressive rising prices of the commodities have begun to cool off. You can definitely see that the prices of key base metals like aluminium, copper, and steel have come down by nearly 20 to 35%, and that has really given a very, very good impetus to the entire auto space. So, what I am looking at is that the conditions overall have become favorable, and with the favorable conditions being in play, we can also take a look at what are the other price action trigger points which can help to get some situation off the ground. All right. So let's go and take a look at some kind of setups with the help of Neo Trader as well as with the help of price action, and find out what is the number one stock which I am recommending from the auto space in few weeks from now. Before we move on to the price action, I thought, why don't you look at this comparative chart which talks about how has been the growth estimate and the overall sales when it was before COVID and now after COVID. So you can see here the comparative chart which I'm talking about is before COVID and the last 2 quarters. You can see that some of the companies like Maruti, Tata Motors, TVS Motors, Bajaj Auto have shown a nice bump up. But amongst them, there are certain companies which are showing some good momentum right now. And you can see here that the auto chart is indicating that yes, it has gone through a sluggish times. But then what we are looking at is a reversal point, right? And when you're going to talk about a reversal point, let's go and take a look at how we can act on this reversal point and what are those setups which we are seeing on the auto space which we can take advantage of. As we had seen that on the comparison between the passenger vehicle and the commercial vehicle, right? We saw that the passenger vehicle was doing much better, but then the commercial vehicles are also picking up, so the entire auto space is doing well. And what we did was we did a comparison. So you had seen this chart earlier, and based on the entire setup which we had seen, now we can observe that the overall setup of the comparison looks very promising in TVS Motors, where the current last 2 quarters have it has done really well. Maruti, Tata Motors, and M&M. So these four counters have done quite well, and we are now seeing some brief recovery in the two-wheeler space. Well, the two-wheeler space are yet to catch up, but then the passenger vehicle have done really well. So that's why we are going to focus on the passenger vehicle, because जो चलता है उसमें हमें काम करना है. तो हम इन चारों स्टॉक्स में जाकर देखेंगे कि what action can we take and find out how to decide on which stock to finalize for our more of a short term or a medium term bet. All right, so let's get right in and find out which stock can we trace it out at the bottom. So let me get into NeoTrader and take the help of NeoTrader to really tell me exactly what kind of momentum are we seeing, because at this point in time we need to look at momentum. But before that, let's once again go back into the charts that we saw earlier of the CNX Auto. As you can see here, the CNX Auto chart is indicating that it has come to a very important zone. All right, it's come into a very important zone. And if you were to take a look, all right, if you were to take a look at the overall movement, if you were to take a look at the overall movement, you can see that the prices have been oscillating around the median line, and then there is an intention to move up. Along with that, the overall momentum, however, remains positive. The DMI is positive. So overall chart structure looks encouraging. Now we have to see that at this support, what are the suitable stocks that we can look at? And that's what prompted me to look at the overall environment. What are the kind of news flows which are coming in play, and how can we take suitable action on the same? So let's get into NeoTrader and find out who are those candidates. Like we listed some of them who are showing some positive sales based on the comparison of the pre-COVID. So let's go and take a look at them right now. Now on the NeoTrader page, I have gone into a page called as ADX Trends. All right. So this ADX Trends is a very interesting page which talks about what is the kind of momentum which we are seeing, and also what is the strength in that trend. And when I take a look at that page, right, I find out I created a watch list. All right, I created a watch list out of all the stocks that we spoke about. All right, and then in that watch list, I decided to rank them based on their strength. All right, so based on their strength, this was the positioning. You can see here that TVS Motor, M&M and Maruti, they seem to be on the bullish side. Okay, they seem to be on the bullish side, and they are definitely indicating some bit of hope for some upward drive. Now, when I speak about the others, Hero Moto, like I said, it's just trying to bump up, but still there is no clear sign of any movement. And Tata Motors is still on the negative side. So I have chosen the weekly time frame. You can see here that I have chosen the weekly time frame of this entire pack which I have created, and I'm able to see immediately from my entire watch list how are the stocks positioned. So now if I were to consider like which of the stocks are going to show me some action, from there I find out that there is a very good setup. There is a very good setup in Maruti. There is a very good setup in Maruti, and it is also featured in a highly curated ADX approach which is called as power trend. So in NeoTrader, this power trend is telling me that on a higher time frame, right, on a weekly time frame, Maruti has come into your power trend bullish. So I definitely would consider that yes, from the entire pack, what is heartening to see is that there is no negative sign. All right, there is no negative sign on higher time frame. Higher time frame always rules. So Maruti is featuring as a power trend buy. Now we also can factor it with another momentum indicator which is called as RSI. So what did I do? I went on to my RSI page, right, and there I selected the monthly. Because why am I selecting the month? If it is strongest in the highest time frame, that means that the stock is very, very powerful, right? So that's what I did. I selected the monthly and I put on my auto basket here, where I have put these specific stocks which I have shortlisted. And well, I find out that these three stocks, Maruti, M&M and TVS Motor, are featuring here as well. So what does it mean? It means that Maruti is having a power trend buying opportunity. Maruti is having on the higher time frame. Even the RSI is also bullish. So the overall sentiment in Maruti is favoring a very positive outlook, right? So for those who also want to take a look at the chart, let me satisfy you as well. All right, let me satisfy you as well. So let me put on the chart of Maruti. So this was the auto space. So let me put on the chart of Maruti and see how is it looking like. For those who are still used to charts, well, I get most of my analysis done with NeoTrader. But then for those who are wanting to look at the charts, you can see here that there is a steady higher high being formed, right, in Maruti, and you can see the recent moves, right? The recent moves, what has happened in Maruti is that it is consolidating at higher levels. It's consolidating at higher levels, and we are seeing that yes, it is also able to hold on. If this is a weekly chart, a nice it's holding on to this trend line, and the overall momentum is also suggesting that it's at a very good point of action. So now combining the detailed analysis of the auto space, combining the momentum readings which we have taken, and also looking at the kind of price action that we are seeing, right? You can see here there's a nice value zone where Maruti has given a reaction after its results. So overall prospects suggest that Maruti is definitely indicating a very strong buy. So that's going to be my stock which I'm going to focus from the auto space. So those who are watching this video, those who are tracking the auto space should definitely have all their eyes on Maruti, because Maruti looks to be a very good bet from here with current levels at 8900, right? So if it begins to move above 8960 to 8980, I would see a target of around 9600 to 9800 within the next few weeks. All right. The stop loss is quite small as a multi-day play. The stop loss is at 8700, and that's the target which I am setting for Maruti in the next few days. So now you have seen how I have gone about systematically analyzing and combining the power of charts and also the surrounding news flow which are available, and taken the help of NeoTrader to find the right kind of stock that is now going to give us a good up move from here on. So yes, you got the sector which has hit a sweet spot, and now it is looking at some recovery, and in that sector I have given you one stock which can help you participate as a short term or as a long term play. All right. Well, the auto space is not confusing. What is confusing is the process. And I have shown you how you can go about in a systematic way, combining the news flow and also combining various kinds of elements with the help of NeoTrader, right? That's what I keep doing all the time. And if you liked what you heard, and if you like the way of doing analysis, I would like you to leave a like on this video and also comment on what aspect of this analysis you liked. And well, if you're seeing this video for the first time, or if you're on channel for a first time, do not forget to subscribe and also hit the bell icon so that you stay notified about such interesting videos. Thank you for watching this. See you next time.